Hello and welcome to Intermediate Algebra. This video will serve as an introduction to our course. When you log into our course, we come to this landing page. At the top of the page is the 3 most current announcements. If you want to access older announcements, just click on this announcements link here on the left. When you scroll down on this page, you will see the links to each of the week's course materials, and you will also see a link to the Getting Started module, the syllabus, my contact information, and the course calendar. Let's first look at the course calendar. As you see from the course calendar, we have a lot to get through in a very short amount of time. For the most part, we do have assignments due every single day. We're covering one section every single day. You will also notice that on the 4th week and the 8th week, we have our in-person midterm exam and our in-person final exam. I will be sending out more information about the exam times during week 2 for the midterm and during week 6 for the final exam. The next thing we need to look at is the syllabus. There's 2 ways to get it. You can click on Simple Syllabus here on the course navigation menu, or if I scroll down, I can click on the course syllabus here. This course syllabus is a PDF, so if you want to print it, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, we can just view it here. I am in student view, so this is what you will see when you access the Simple Syllabus. We have all the course information here under the first 2 headings. Oh, it looks like I put this paragraph in the wrong spot. This really should say expectations for time for an online class. Because this is an online class, the amount of time that you are expected to study per week is approximately 24 hours. This is because we're going twice as fast as we are during a regular semester. One thing I want to caution you from doing is trying to cram too much into one day. Our brains just can't handle that much math at one time. It's much easier if you just plan to do one section per day. Here's my contact information. I'll show you another place to find it in a few minutes. There is no required textbook. There is an online textbook that is open source. That means it is free to students. And the link for that is right here. When I click on that, you can click on the table of contents and navigate to whatever section that you are working on. As far as the required materials go, we will be using an open source software to do the online portion of your assessment. It is already embedded into Canvas, but you'll notice as you click on the assignments, it does have a slightly different look to it. Additionally, you need a computer with internet connection. I know sometimes internet connections can go down, so just make sure you're working a little bit ahead so if that happens to you, it doesn't put you in a crunch to get things done. Then as far as calculators go, you will need a scientific calculator. You can get one for about $15 at Walmart or Target or on Amazon. One thing to consider is if you are going to continue on into Math 156, Math 187, and onto the calc sequences, you may want to consider getting a graphing calculator, but it is not required. Here's the information for the textbook, but again, it's just a link that you can click on here. Every student has email. Please check your email, especially your Canvas inbox email every single day. Here's a grading distribution. So we have our more preview sets. That's the online assessment portion, and that's 15%. Then we have the check your understanding and a few other Canvas assignments. Here is how the percentages are distributed. One thing to note is if you are going on to the next math class, you need to get at least 70% in this class. So as far as assignments go, there's 8 chapters, but as you saw in the calendar, some of the chapters only have a couple sections. For each section, you'll do 4 things. The first is to prepare. That will be a Google slide presentation of mathematical content. It has definitions and examples and some videos embedded in that. For the prepare assignment, you just have to go through the slides and then click it as done. The next assignment is a preview, and for that, you'll use the notes that you created in the prepare assignment to answer a few questions in the online system. You have to score 80% on the preview set to move on to the next assignment. The next assignment is the practice assignment. That is more practice for you so you can make sure that you really understand the concept being taught in that section. It is not required. It does not count towards your grade. However, it is strongly encouraged that you do these assignments to give you that practice. As you're doing all 3 of these assignments, you should be writing everything down. For the prepare assignment, you'll just be writing your own notes. For the preview assignment and the practice assignment, you'll want to be writing down everything in a notebook in an organized way so that you can refer back to it. The 4th thing that you'll do is a check your understanding worksheet. This will be a selection of problems that is assigned either every section, or sometimes I've grouped 2 or 3 sections together. For this assignment, you're going to download the worksheet and print it. You can print it either physically or you could print it virtually. So if you have an iPad or some other device, or you're using a note-taking app, then you can download it to that device, do the assignment on that device, and then just upload it to the assignment. If you have printed it, then you'll need a scanning app loaded on your phone, and then you'll upload it the same way. We will have 2 tests for this class. The first will be a midterm, and the other one will be a final exam. Both are in-person tests. During week 2, I'll send out an announcement that tells you how the in-person test will work. The general form is that we have several sessions. You pick which session you're going to go to. You'll come at that session and take your test just like you would in a regular math class. You'll turn the test into the proctor, and then I'll grade them. The same thing will happen for the final exam. All right, let's talk about late work. For the preview assignments and for the check your understanding assignments and any other Canvas assignments, I do take late work. However, there is a 10% per day penalty. So at 2 days, you're losing 20%. At 3 days late, you're losing 30%. At 4 days late, you're losing 40%. Once you get to 9.01 days, then it's not possible to earn any points on that assignment. Although I still highly suggest that you do the assignment, you just won't be able to earn any points. But just be really careful. It is easy to get very far behind very quickly in a summer school class. I will have a couple extra credit assignments. They will be virtual optional Q&A sessions, and I usually do them right before the midterm and one right before the final. Graded assignments cannot be resubmitted to improve your score. So if you turn in your check your understanding assignment and you get 80% on it, you cannot resubmit it. Another thing that happens when students resubmit it is now, since you're resubmitting it, it's considered late, and that late penalty gets automatically applied. So once it's graded, you can't resubmit it. But I'm still happy to talk about it. If you need to meet with me or you have a question, you're more than welcome to reach out. Okay, a couple other things. We do have the tutoring center is available during the summer. There's virtual tutoring, there's in-person tutoring, and we even have a third-party tutoring system that's available 24/7. Another important thing for an online class is the attendance policy. You are required to be active in a class at least once every 7 days. So if you go 7 days and have not submitted anything, that's like being absent, and that could get you withdrawn from the course. Additionally, if you are missing 2 or more consecutive assignments and I have not heard from you, that also could get you dropped. If something happens, just keep in contact with me. Let me know what's going on, and that way I can help you through that process. When you pass this class with a C or better, the next class that you take should be college algebra. I highly, highly suggest that you take Math 156 once you are done with this class. The next class is very intense. There's a lot of material in it. So having those extra credit hours, the extra seat time, really benefits students. And that, of course, is if it's on your pathway map to go ahead and enroll in that class. All right, there is a course schedule in the syllabus. The only problem with the course schedule is that if I ever change anything in the course, this will not automatically update. So the best place to look for all your assignments is on your to-do list. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, that's right. Let's talk about AI. I know that AI is out there, and I know that a lot of students use it. I really would like to strongly suggest that you not use it. I have seen a real increase in use of AI, and for those students, I have seen a real decrease in grades. The thing about math is that it is something that you have to practice. And just watching ChatGPT or Mathway or any of these things, just watching them, you're not learning. I know it's so tempting, but if you want to be really successful, spend the time, work through the struggle, and if it's hard, you have lots of resources. Either get a friend to tutor you or come to tutoring or come talk to me. Those are the better resources, and not use AI. Okay, you can read through the rest of this. And I'm just going to click acknowledge. And now I'm going to go back to the home page. And I would like to now go to the Getting Started module. In the Getting Started module, there is a lot of stuff. This is set up so you have to at least scan through each page before you can get to the assignments that are down here. So we have the course welcome, and this will tell you about the structure of the course. It goes into a little more detail about the 3 Ps, the prepare, preview, and practice, and then talks about the check your understanding assignments. Then we go into even more detail here. There's a video that discusses it. One important thing to do is to have a notebook to write down all your problems. Here's a perfect example of a student who's written down all the problems, worked it all out, nice and neat and organized. You can read through all of these. The syllabus, if you want to print it, is here. Also, I have put the course calendar here. You will have 2 quick assignments. One is the syllabus quiz. That one is just you're accepting that you've read the syllabus. And then the course introduction homework, that's going to just ask you some questions over the syllabus, and then you'll practice uploading an assignment. So you could just take a picture of your notes out or draw a picture, whatever, and upload that. Here is my contact information. The very, very best way to get a hold of me is through the Canvas inbox right here. The Canvas inbox filters out just my current students. You can email me through my school email, but I get a lot of stuff there. So Canvas inbox is where I check the most often. It's the first thing I check every time I log onto the computer. Here's my landline phone number. If you leave a voicemail, it just gets delivered to my email. Okay, let's go back to modules. We're going to be in that Getting Started module. Here's some Canvas resources if you're new to Canvas. Everything we do is in Canvas. And the nice thing is it's kind of like your one-stop shop. Everything's just built into it. If you are new to college or new to Canvas, a couple things I highly suggest is to get the Canvas student app from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. That's just a really nice feature that you can be checking things on your phone, even if you're not near your computer. Then the next thing is to set up your notifications. To set up your notifications, you're going to just click Account here and click Notifications. I can't get into it because I'm in a student view here. Under Canvas notifications, you could be notified of everything that you want. But the only hiccup with that is if you select notify for everything, every time I make a change, like a due date or points or anything, you're going to get an email. So I would probably keep it to the announcements, the messages, maybe if due dates have changed or if your grade is posted. Those are the things that are probably the high priority, and then you could choose for the rest of them. Okay. Under General Student Resources, this is the one that I want to talk to you about doing the Check Your Understanding problems. The Check Your Understanding worksheets can be equated to written assignments that you've been doing in every math class. If you print it physically, you're going to need to upload it in some way back to the assignment. There is a couple of apps out there that you can try. I have tried Adobe Scan. Be really careful because they'll try and trick you into paying for it, but you don't need to pay for it. And the idea is you print up the homework, you do the homework, and then you can use one of these scanning apps to upload it. So let's look at one of those assignments. So I'm coming down here to week 1. This first page here is just something you'll read through that tells you everything that is due that week. Okay, here is the prepare page. This is where you're going to want to take notes. There are a couple of notes templates here for you to use, or you can use your own notes. And here is the first section. We're going to learn about linear inequalities, and you'll just page through each slide. Some of the slides have just words that you'll read and take notes on. And some of the pages will have videos, so you'll play this little video. When you're done going through this prepare assignment, you are then ready to do the preview assignment. This is the More system, but it's embedded in Canvas. And then you'll just do the problems that go along with that. To do these assignments, you refer to your notes and then write down every problem in your notebook to give you the necessary practice. Once you have reached at least 80% on this preview assignment, you are then ready to do this practice assignment. If you are submitting this late, you will have to redeem a late pass. You have plenty of late passes, so don't ever worry about running out. They extend the due date by 48 hours. So if you are going to be late doing this assignment, don't click redeem that late pass until you're ready to start working. After the practice assignment, you'll come upon the Check Your Understanding. So right here's the worksheet. I'm going to download this worksheet. Here's the assignment. So work through all these problems. You'll notice at the bottom of the page is the answers, so you can check if you did it correctly, but I do still need to see all the work. This is the assignment that you will upload to me. So once you've completed the assignment, if you've done it on virtual paper, then you'll just export that from whatever app you are using. So if you're using like GoodNotes or OneNote, or you're just using a blank paper on your computer, you'll save that as a PDF, then click Start Assignment and navigate to wherever that file is to upload it. If you have done it physically, you'll need to take a picture of it with a scanning app, convert it to a PDF, and then save it and upload it here. You cannot submit a picture, only submit a PDF. If the assignment is more than one page, then you should only be submitting one PDF. So combine it all into one and then upload it here. Once you get to module 1, you'll kind of see the layout. I have everything that's due in week 1 on this first page, and then we have prepare, preview, practice, and then the Check Your Understandings. And then we move to the next section with the same thing. There is not a Check Your Understanding for section 3.5. It is combined with section 3.6. Now back to the home page. You can access just the week that you are working on by clicking these buttons. So if maybe we're on week 4, I'm just going to click week 4. And here we are. This is actually currently locked right now. It will unlock about 8 days before the assignments are due. One other thing you'll notice over here is the to-do list. If you have the app, it's on the very bottom of your app and it tells you everything that's due and what's coming up. So that should help keep you organized. The other thing you could do is you could click calendar. You'll see all the things that are due here. Okay, I think that is everything. We will also have a virtual Q&A during the first week, so please look out for that assignment. And if you have any questions, please contact me.